arm-in guillotine, we'll really be going over a pretty broad spectrum of head and arm chokes, and also just standard guillotines over the course of the next month. But the primary focus, kind of the central axis of our semester, this is my pantomime for my axis, will be the arm-in guillotine. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing we're going to work on, really, we're going to start with just the basic mechanics of how to actually finish and control this choke. And then we're going to talk about something kind of tactical as a means of kind of facilitating some of the circumstances that we'll be using it from the most. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually how to finish this thing. And this kind of goes for guillotines in general. Now, I'm going to start out by showing you guys what we don't want to do with a guillotine. And this is whether it be arm-in, standard guillotine, whatever. This is what we do not want to have. Let me grab your head first. I'll do the arm-in. Especially don't make that sound. It's okay. What's wrong? Stop. And it's hard to do this and not make that sound. Watch. You'll find yourself doing this. Okay. Let's take a moment in principle to sort of understand what is a choke. Anyway, what is a choke, right? Well, what you'll find is, whether it be a guillotine, a back choke, whatever, chokes all adhere to a pretty standard system of how they work, okay? We have 3 elements for pretty much every choke that exists. Number 1. Yeah. Thank you. We have the choking mechanism. So if I turn you to the camera, and let me get everyone kind of on the side of the camera. That's going to be probably the best place to be. We're 2 primary ways of executing the choke. One is we block the carotid arteries. So remember, guys, the carotid arteries are, if you feel so if everyone touch their throat, and then touch the hard, meaty part on the outside there, and then find these little soft triangles where if you're talking, you can feel your tongue moving. That's your carotid arteries. That's what we're cutting off, okay? So it's not the hard part, it's this soft tissue. Right, yeah. So that's one, is that, right? If you do that to yourself, you actually choke yourself a little bit. And then the other place is going to be in this little trachea hole, right? So when someone gets like the tracheotomy, that hole, right? I'm sorry, in advance, is like that right there. Just that. That's a little pocket. Just if you do that, you like below your throat, this little hole, put your fingers in and feel the choke, okay? So what we have is some mechanism of blocking the neck, okay? Or cutting off the blood supply, or blocking the trach. We have a shelping mechanism, right? So let me just hinge over. We have a shelping mechanism, which basically keeps his head in place, and then we have a support mechanism, which basically keeps the angle in place. Well, why is that important? Well, if for the sake of argument I'm doing a guillotine, and I have no enclaspment, I could have a perfectly fine choke, let's rotate this way, technically speaking, with the hand, right? So I could, like if I, we'll talk about the mechanics thing, but I could have a perfectly fine choke, but like I'm gonna try to finish that chase and just like circle left or right in a way that gets you free. Yep, and maybe the other way, right? And you can kind of slip his head because I can't control the angle. Does that make sense, guys? So in essence, what we're talking about when we talk about a support grip is this is kind of just keeping him here. So if like he goes to circle as I'm trying to finish, he can't really. You okay, Buzz? He can't really get offline. Does that make sense, guys? So our 3 elements: a choke, a shelf, and a support. Does that make sense? You with me, Ben? Excellent. I thought you'd be. That's why I asked you. So this goes back. That's all well and good, Alex. But what does that have to do with this? Okay. Here's the deal. In order for me to choke this person, right? Let me just hinge you over. What I have to do is I have to create choke pressure kind of up in this direction. And what happens when I is my pressure is going that way. I'm also losing my shelf. You see what I'm saying? And I'm changing the angle. So what happens here basically in a nutshell is that like I'm not creating the pressure of the choke into the neck. I'm creating like this sort of like rotational circle thing. I don't have the control over the head I need. And I also don't have the ability to adjust, because if I have this going from here, it's like if I need to tighten this up, all of the space I need to tighten up is closed. You guys see how there's no space between my hands and Chase's chest, right? And also my chest. The difference between this and this is huge, because I need this space in the middle. to guillotine this person. This is super vital to every guillotine you ever do. I don't want to have a closing of the space. I want to have a creating of the space and choke him inside of this space. Does that make sense? Y'all with me? So now let's talk about specifically the function of the arm and guillotine. So the arm and guillotine, let me grab your head. We start off with the guillotine grip. My hand position wants to be basically thumb poking out right past the chin. You guys see that? So I'm like right here. Big thumbs up. Hey. I'm the font. What if I had a leather jacket on? That would have been perfect. Hey. Anyway. Ooh. Can you imagine rolling like a leather gi? Like, it's all sweaty. You're all... Anyway, so poking right around the jawline, okay? I basically want to find this knot of my wrist to this little pocket right here. That's what I'm trying to facilitate, right? I'm here. Now, the thing to keep in mind, guys, is that right now, if my hand is all extended out in like this bar, I'm kind of dull. So the first thing I do is I bend this way, right? You guys see I'm like as if I'm like, you crazy kids these days. And then I'm hinging this way. You guys see my hand doing all this stuff? So I create like this sharp point that's going into the carotid artery. Does that make sense, guys? Now all I have to do is reinforce all that. So that's the choking mechanism. That's literally all that's doing the work for the choke in this thing. But the problem is, obviously, if I tried to choke for Chase like this, he'd try to pull his head free. Exactly, right? I don't have a way of keeping him. So I'm here. So first I have the arm. That's killer. Now, right? So I'm doing that same kind of bend of the wrist that we just did. Hinging this way, turning this way. Grabbing the blade of your hand. So do me a favor. Everybody do this. Now thumbs in. Blade over the back of the hand. Bend your wrists and keep your elbows pinned to your body, and then turn your pinky away from yourself. That's what we're creating, this little thing right here, okay? So I'm grabbing this. So I'm here. So knot in the point, connect. Then I pinch my elbows. So I don't keep my elbows blown out like this. I close my elbows in tight. And then the finishing mechanism, because remember, we're trying to take this knot and put it into this direction, is I'm going to, and I'll show this invisible opponent in a second, is I'm going to kind of do like a golf swing, right? So I don't go up. I don't even go necessarily straight up. I go turn. So visible opponent here, and it's like I'm swinging a golf club. I think that's how people swing golf clubs. I don't know. I'm poor. So I'm here, turn that away, and then it's crunching. So a lot of people focus on like elbow to hip. I don't want to just go elbow to hip. I want to go elbow past hip. Does that make sense, guys? Do you want to see that? Let's see it. Let's grab it. I'll choke you. You guys get in there. You go. Just get in there.
Yeah.
So one more time. So I have your head. So once again, note. Hinge the wrist, turn the pinky away, make this point, right? So again, without everything else, if I just get this in the right spot, then I should be able just to choke them right away. Now I'm here. Now I'm here. Grab the blade of my hand, close my elbows in tight, and then I'm, sorry, okay? So I'm turning my body. So you see, it's like you felt like I'm locked in, and it's just, does that make sense, guys? So let's just partner up. We'll start from the feet and just work through one-on-one with our partner, working through finishing that choke. Thank you. And then we'll start talking about kind of tactics. Does that make sense, guys? Awesome. Great work. You gonna high five me?
Choke.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.